Welcome back to the channel. So today I've got something special. It's the 2023 M4 CSL, one of 1,000 units worldwide, and I believe it's about 250 in the US market. So not every BMW dealer got one of these cars. It's finally arrived. We put in the order quite some time ago, and it's basically just arrived now, fresh out of PDI. But let's talk about the G82 M4 CSL. This one is in Frozen Brooklyn Gray. That's one of 3 color choices, and Frozen Brooklyn Gray was a premium color. Other choices were Alpine White and Black Sapphire. You can also choose to delete or keep the sort of red pinstripes around the vehicle, and we'll go over those momentarily. So up front, we have the laser lights with the special yellow daytime running lights, which harken back to the not so long ago M5 CS. We have a carbon exterior package on the M4 CSL as well. So intakes that you can normally get on M3 or M4. And we have a front splitter, which is much more aggressive, especially the side over here, which also has an M4 CSL logo on the side there. Our grille is different in terms of design. Not quite what the M4 GT3 looks like. Theirs is made out of carbon fiber. This looks to be still plastic, but a slightly different design on the top and bottom. There's sort of like cross braces. M4 CSL badging, and you have the outline in red as well. 50th anniversary BMW M emblems, celebrating the 50 years of BMW M, which is what this car is basically about. I really like these yellow lights. I think France was at one point in time the only country that had these as legal, although when you actually have the headlights on, they're not going to be yellow due to regulations in the US market. Over to the side, we have a special wheel. These are the 827M wheels. You could opt for Cup 2Rs on this one, but we got the standard Pilot Sport 4Ss, but I think are a pretty good choice for most people. So red carbon ceramic brakes. The calipers are red, and carbon ceramic brakes are standard on this vehicle. Our M4 sort of breather, quote unquote, gill here. On the side, you do have, it's high gloss black, so it's not carbon fiber. So that goes all the way to the back to our 20-inch wheels at the back. Single piston floating caliper at the back in red. Of course, the highlight harkens back to the original E46 M3 CSL, the ducktail spoiler. We've also got laser lights in the back here, so basically the tail lights are laser here, which I think makes a really good effect. We've also got a carbon fiber diffuser and special titanium exhaust tips. I think they're titanium. There's a little bit of weight savings on the exhaust of the silencer here. M4 CSL badging outlined in red. And I think, well, obviously this is a launch color, so I think it's the one to get. Basically signifying something special. I know black looks pretty good. I've seen a few pictures of those ones. Up top, carbon fiber roof, standard on the car, as it is on the M3, M4. Those pinstripes are also on the top as well. But from the side profile, I think this looks pretty good. That ducktail works, I think, fairly well. We'll make our way to the inside and go over options and pricing and what's been changed. So overall, if you opt for the full carbon bucket seats, it's basically 240 pounds of weight saved off an M4. And most of those savings are from the rear seat delete, as well as the carbon fiber full buckets. So here it is in black full merino leather. Door cards, nothing crazy like on the M4 GTS. We do have special contrast stitching in red and looks like maybe sort of like Brooklyn gray. Go along the door cards, as well as the seats, which look, let me zoom out, look fantastic. So you even got a little holder here for your seat belt. And here are the full buckets. So these can be adjusted. You will need a Torx bit here to adjust the angle of the seat, as well as the height. You do have, oh, the other one's right here. So that's going to be height over here, and the basically incline or recline on the back seat. CSL badging here on the bottom of the buckets. You can move the seats forward and backwards with a little lever up there. So basically it's manual full bucket seats. So there was an option for bucket seats. If you selected that on the M4 CSL build, you got the carbon buckets that are in the M3, M4 as an option. But I think for effect, this is really what you want on the M4 CSL. So CSL badging here on the seat as well. The buckets look great from the front. And for my feel, this is maybe a slightly bit more comfortable, but it's still narrow. So you'll feel it on your legs. And of course, getting in and out is a little bit more difficult given the height of the side bolsters here, but you are planted in this seat. So in the back, you have the rear seat deletion, CSL badging there on the rear portion. Also have space for your racing helmets or crash helmets. That's mine right there. All right, let's attempt to hop in here. All right, so on the inside, iDrive 7 Live Cockpit Professional. Carbon fiber gear selectors, Alcantara steering wheel with the red 12 o'clock stripe. M1 and M2 buttons in red. There's no driving assistance professional package on this car. There's no parking assistance package either. You get full iDrive 7. Dual zone climate control, which I don't have on my CS. I also don't have the blind spot detection, which is standard on this car. You can see what is included on here just by pressing that and going to configure individual. So you have forward collision mitigation, lane departure warning, active blind spot detection. All things are not included on the 2018 M3 CS or the comparable M4 CS. So maybe BMW's learned a little bit from here, from the previous experience. They've also included comfort access, which I don't have on the M3 CS. I do have rear window blinds and the passenger blinds, the rear passenger blinds as standard, but no comfort access. Weird. All right, so let's talk about pricing, and it's going to be hefty. So MSRP of $139,900. Why not just make it $140,000? So everything's included here except the frozen Brooklyn gray metallic, even though it says included. Down below, it's $4,500. So the Alpine White and black Sapphire, those were included. So your merino leathers included, remote engine start. Again, things that aren't on my M3 CS. M-Drive Professional, which is a good thing. So we'll take a look at the hood and go take a look at the front end strut brace as well. You've got locking wheel bolts, M-Sport differential, those 827M wheels, shadowline lights, emblems, carbon ceramic brakes, comfort access keyless entry, seat belts, carbon fiber trim, auto dimming mirrors, full bucket seats. Those are the standard seats on the car, even though it's a no-cost option to go with the lesser carbon buckets. Park distance control, wireless charging. That's a weird one, given what this car is supposed to be doing. But hey, a little bit of comfort. So You get the M drivers package as well, the steering wheel, M carbon exterior package, shell exterior trim, and a bunch of other things. So all told, MSRP of $145,395. So this is the max you could spec the car at. Basically, it's just the paint. But there's going to be a markup on these cars. So Auto Nation here, BMW Mountain View, are asking $75,000 over MSRP. And remember, the operative word there is asking. It's not a given. But let me hop out. We'll take a look at the trunk as well as under the hood. So that was an adventure getting out of that seat. But let me pop the trunk here. And we'll go over the carbon fiber trunk, which is another weight savings thing. So this is super, super light. You can see the carbon fiber here on the back. But a pretty decent sized trunk. You got the back sort of racing type thing. I don't know exactly. But looks pretty damn good. Trunk is super, super light. Let me zoom out so you can see that. These are the carbon fiber diffuser, which I think I've mentioned already. Alright, so I think I gotta go to the front here and pop the hood. And we'll talk about the modified S58. Alright, so you got your carbon fiber mirror caps as well. The hood is all carbon fiber. You can see some exposed carbon fiber here on the top. So here is our modified S58, 543 horsepower, 503 torques, so same torque figure, increased horsepower, probably by increasing boost. A different sort of strut brace here going across the engine compartment. But overall, not bad. You can see frozen Brooklyn gray badging there. M badging up here. Now the M5 CS had it right here. And sort of a hood bulb that looks like there, but not quite. But that's our front end again, which looks really, really good. Of course, there are other modifications to the car. The car sits about 8 millimeters lower. It's also tuning to the suspension. I believe there are helper springs involved in this as well. So I think lessons learned from maybe the M4 GT3 race car were incorporated into this vehicle as well. But obviously it's a very limited car, and who knows how many you actually see out there on the road. But this is not quite the extreme as the M4 GTS from the previous gen F82. So no roll cage in here, but you have really cool bucket seats available, rear seat delete, and a few more creature comforts. So it's sort of like a hybrid track. It's not going to be a daily driver, but a casual drive car. But obviously a lot to take in on this vehicle. And I wish you could spend a lot more time on this one. But hopefully I've covered mostly everything. Then 240 pounds lighter than a comparable M4 comp. I'm guessing without the bucket seats or carbon ceramics. Because basically carbon ceramic brakes, those are going to lower the weight, the full buckets, as well as the rear seat delete. That's where probably about 50% of the weight savings comes from. But a fantastic looking vehicle, and it'll be a lot of fun for the one lucky owner who decides to pick up this M4 CSL. But that's it, and we'll see you at the next video.